Hey guys, back again with another Perfect Faces snippet video where today we're going to cover brows. So my face is already beat to the gods with highlights and contours and foundation and powder. Um, what we're going to use today to do your eyebrows are a brow pencil. Now, a lot of people tend to use very dark colors over their brows. As I always say, creating makeup has to do with your personality and what it is you want to portray. However, there are specifics that are there for a reason. Now, your brows help to frame your eyes, which gives them a better shape. Now, when you use something that is very strong or very dark over your eyes, then you create brows that stand out more than the eyes. So they tend to take over the eyes rather than frame them. Now, if that's the look you're going for, why not? But I'm going to use a brown pencil today, so sort of a reddish brown color, which would work very nicely with my skin complexion. And brows begin from the inner corner of your eye and they end on the outer corner but at an angle. Yes, sort of like a 45-degree angle if I remember my math correctly. I have seen a lot of people doing brows in between this space. Now remember that here has a highlighted area. When you bring a brow across here, you create a shadow or a contour over there. Up to you. Okay, so let's go. To create the brow, we're going to firstly, you know that you want to start from here and you want to end somewhere out here. Yes? So what I tend to do is sort of just use the center of the brow and you want to draw the shape that you want to get, that basic shape that you want to get. Yeah? So you see I've drawn that basic shape that I want to get. Now to further create your brows, you want to feather in, not draw. So I'm just going to use another pencil because this one is a bit longer and easier to hold. So by feathering, you see I hold my pencil like that and I lightly stroke instead of drawing where you mark very strongly. So we start to fill the base, feathering to create a thicker base. And this base you can create whether you want it rounded or you want it square. That's up to you. You can decide what look you want to go for. And we continue to feather, fill out. You see the brow starting to take shape. Always make sure that your pencil, the point that you're using, is sharp enough so that it draws a clear definition line. So yes, I'm going with the pencil, with the brow, creating, filling in light strokes. Now this takes time. It takes some patience. Don't expect to get your brow done in 3 seconds. You understand? Spend that time on your beauty. Do you see that brow taking shape? Now, because I have no brows at the end here, that means I have to create a brow. So does my brow end at the outer corner at an angle? Yes. There you see I've created a brow using a pencil. So pencils are wax. And you fill that in, keep filling in. Pencil just broke, but that happens. Take your time and keep filling in until you get the desired shape. Now, another thing you can do when you've gotten the desired shape, you can clean that brow up. So remember we did concealer before and we have used this brush before, a flat concealer brush. We're going to use that to neaten and clean around the brow. Notice the steady hand that I'm holding the brush to get more control, so closer to the end. Take your time and we're just cleaning up around that. Now, if you desire, you can also put a heavier amount to create that 3D brow look. if that is the definition you would like to create. Yes? So here we go. So to create your brow, it starts from the inner corner of your eye and ends at the outer corner of your eye, but at an angle. You want to start by using the middle of the brow that you already have with a pencil, create the shape that you want to create, and then you feather and fill in the base all the way to the other end until you create a nice brow. I'm going to do one other thing just to sort of give some of you an idea of what you can also use to create your brows. So I am just looking for an angled brush, an angled brow brush. This is also a brush from Perfect Faces. They have these angled eyeliners or brow liners. And I am actually going to use the pressed powder that I use on Perfect Faces in suede to create a more matte and finished effect on my brows. So I dip that brush in the powder on both sides, and then I'm going to lightly apply and run that through the brow. So little bits at first and add more where more is needed. I'll tell you two things that powder does for your brows. Powder sets that wax that pencils have, so it sets it in, but it also limits the shine. So wax obviously has a slight sheen to it, and when using powder over that, it sort of takes that shine down. Powders, you can also not use a pencil and just use powders to fill your brows in. You can use gel liners to create your brows. There are various ways you can create your eyebrows. Now, because I have hair there and I have none there, what I am going to do is I'm going to use the same dark powder that I used for my contouring, and I'm just going to use that to fill in the ends. Just to create a warmer or a darker end piece to sort of match the rest of my brow. Another thing that I can do is I can use a bit of black, but you have to really easily work it in. So let's use this powder on the other side. So you see the brow. What I'm going to do is firstly create the shape that I desire, and this is with powder. Now remember that your brows are sisters and not twins. No human being has even brows. So we want to try to create something as close as possible. So now that I've sort of created the shape, the basic shape that I want, I'm going to form my base, which I'm going to do a bit rounded. Yes, to match the other. And I continue to feather. So you use the same feathering effect with your powder. Light amounts, and if you need more, you add. Yes. And we see the brow starting to take shape. It looks a bit like the other brow. We want to take it up a bit on this end. Yes. And I think we can go a bit darker at the outer end. So you can also create brows with powder quite easily. I'm going to again use my flat concealer brush just to clean up and neaten up the edges. And we do it at the bottom also. Powder tends to give you a very natural looking brow if you use any sort of powder. Yeah, there you go. So there you have two brows, one created with firstly pencil and then some powder, and the other created 100% with powder. Eyebrows, that's the easy way to do it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Perfect Faces NL. See you for the next video.